This kind of looks like if Pokemon and Cuphead had a very frisky night together. So just like Cuphead, the art style is great, but just like Pokemon, it falls flat in a few sections. Yokai Tales is a turn and class based roguelike, which sees us fight through multiple levels, upgrade our team of 3 tanukis with class specific talents, while each of them can transform into various creatures, unlocking unique abilities. After spending many hours in this title and still not making it far enough to unlock all classes and monsters, I invite you to join me while we explore what Yokai Tales is all about and if it's actually any good. With 3 brothers trying to solve the mystery behind an ominous cloud swallowing up the few levels of the game, we start off by picking a lineup out of a few classes and launch into the board game like map, which could use a few artistic tweaks. Launching into the many and let me emphasize it, many battles, we utilize the 3 base abilities each of the yokai have, which the brothers can freely transform into. Those yokai are not only armed with abilities but further strengths and weaknesses as well as their own stat bonuses and elemental properties, but more on those later. Gaining experience points with every fight sees the brothers level up, unlocking class specific abilities, enhancing our combat flexibility while we are freely moving around on the map, able to retrack our steps, encounter every event and spend our fair share of stars at the shop for relics powering up our whole team or enhancing one member. While a whole exploration of the map would be beneficial to upgrade our team as much as possible, it is rather limited since the void, a purple cloud, slowly creeps up on us, blocking sections of the map at a certain pace. Rushing towards the end of the map sees us encounter a boss, and beating them sees us move along to the next section, while a failure sees us get back to the start and the main menu, with our progress being exchanged into points, unlocking more yokai to use. These yokai are the key to our success in battles, with a larger roster giving us more options to transform into. Each fight starts out with our team showing off the chameleon-esque transformations and take up the yokai stats and element. Then, in turns, we are using various abilities to either attack one single target, or spend mana for a group attack, or buff our team, or create status elements for the enemy team, or heal our own allies, or strengthen themselves, or... okay, now I'm done. Depending on which enemy we are facing, we are shown the opponent's weakness in their elemental defense, with specific yokai hitting harder or lighter. The floating head on the dark board, for example, performs various fire-based abilities, hitting specific enemies harder or weaker depending on their own properties. Hitting the banana-loving cousin of Squirtle with such a fire attack results in a much lower damage output compared to an enemy that dislikes fire. With each ally's turn allowing them to transform into a different yokai freely, we are constantly switching around our lineup according to our enemies and also to the strengths of our heroes' classes. The warrior, for example, benefits from a yokai with a higher strength stat, since most abilities of the warrior are physical attacks, while the mage gets a bunch of different skills shooting lightning bolts, fire spells or splashes around with water, all benefiting from the intelligence stat. This switcheroo during a fight is far more strategic than you might expect, especially when it comes to enhancing our heroes with level ups and relics. These relics are the bread and butter for strengthening the brothers' stats, while the level ups unlock helpful abilities. Talking about the latter first, each level up sees us gain a skill point, spendable in a class-specific talent tree. The skills of the mage evolve around various elemental attacks. The warrior has physical attack skills, while the cleric combines supportive skills with regeneration abilities to keep the group's health high. Those talent trees are tightly packed and easily manageable, but the true stat upgrades are coming through the relics. Those babies increase specific stats, give additional elemental properties to attacks, or even power up the whole group with higher defense numbers. Randomly finding those or buying them at one of the many shop locations sees our team become absolute powerhouses. The right relics can further be incredibly helpful in a pinch, especially when it comes to the points I actually have to critique on the game. With some minor negatives I can always work with, but after nearly 6 hours of game time I have one huge issue with the game, in being that some relics or abilities are downright necessary to win a run. I ran into the lightning bolts of hell, which electrocuted my team, resulting in them skipping the turn and getting pummeled to death without any way of avoiding that. Not very fun. Another encounter which left me stunned was the third boss fight, which uses an ailment called Fear, resulting in a high chance that the character in Fear skips their turn multiple times. The only way to avoid that is either to find a specific relic that makes our team immune against Fear, but then again we would need 3 of those, or another option is to unlock a unique ability for one specific class that, if used first, makes the whole team immune against ailments altogether. Either way, it is a rather tough spot we are forced into just because those abilities can and will break our whole run. This resulted in me being unlucky twice in a row by not finding a relic that stopped the Fear ability, which resulted in me getting beaten by the last boss in a rather frustrating way, seeing a whole run that took over 1 hour being finished within seconds because my team couldn't react. Failure! While the overall gameplay and combat design as well as the artwork is brilliant and I fairly enjoyed most fights thanks to the well-designed combat system, the mentioned showstoppers and a few minor issues like a weak story presentation and a handful of visual and also one game-breaking bug dampened the whole experience for me. Granted, I have played a preview build of the game and those bugs might already be history, but as long as the Fear ability at the end boss is as powerful as it was during my 4 attempts, I will have to skip out on the game. Granted, I was lucky enough to win once since I had 2 heroes equipped with the Fear negating relic, but I was lucky once and unlucky the other 3 times. So, what are your thoughts on the game? Would you agree with my verdict and do you feel lucky enough to try out Yokai Tales? Let me know in the comments and caress those sweet buttons down below to make them sparkle.